purchased the DJI Mini 4 Pro in May 2024 as a beginner drone pilot. I believe this is the perfect drone for a beginner. Hey there, my name is Thiago and I'm here from Kullaberg in Sweden, which is a pretty cool region, as you saw in the B-roll of this video. There was already some shots that I took with my DJI Mini 4 Pro. And for today we're going to discuss the reasons why I think this little guy is the perfect drone for a beginner like you and like myself, because I bought the drone pretty recently and that was my first drone. So let's get started with the reasons I think why it's very good drone for you to start. The number one reason why I chose this guy over more expensive and more professional drones is the fact that you only need an operator ID. I know there's a lot of complications on what you need to have a drone and to legally fly all over, but briefly you would need an operator ID and a pilot license depending on the drone that you have. Since this little guy here is under 250 grams, you only need the operator ID, which makes things a little bit simple and less of a hurdle for you to go and get all the documentation you need to fly legally. The second point I chose this guy is because the ease of use. I always saw a lot of tutorials online on how drones operate, how they work, and I found this one to be particularly easy. But enough about talking about it, let's take it for a flight and I'll record the screen in here to show you how easy it is to operate this one, and you'll know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's put it in place right here. I'll take off from here, turning on the remote controller. So this is something I opted for. So I got the DJI Mini 4 Pro with the Flight Plus combo because I get this controller and I don't need to use my mobile phone with it. I think that's crucial because you never want to kill your phone battery in case you need it for phone purposes, right? All right, so I have it here. I'll just connect it to my phone to have it internet. Turning on the drone. Here I'll probably be out of frame, but just so I take it off. Home point updated. All right, so the phone is connected here. So let's take it for a spin. I'll just start recording my screen here. And I'll start recording here as well. So just so you know how easy it is to take off. So there's a button here. You press it and you press and hold and it will take off. See? And then from here, if you press up, it will go up. And then here it goes forward. So it's pretty easy on the controllers. Let me shift here to my original position so you can see everything all right. And as you can see, let me flip the drone around so you can see us in here. So there we are. So it's super easy. So you can just put it up, it goes up, down, it goes down on the left controller. And then if you put it on the left controller, right or left, it tilts like this. And then if you put on the left controller, it goes down, up and down, it goes to front and to the back. And then right and left on the right controller, it just goes sideways like this. All right. But enough about this. So let me just show you one thing. What is super cool about this is that you can identify people by just dragging a box around them. And then you have the POI, point of interest, I think. So you can choose the side it goes and how fast it goes. And when you hit go, it goes automatically without you having to manage it. So it's pretty good to keep it a consistent speed and show you around the region you're at and all the things you want to show. So here it's me and Bianca right there, and it's pretty cool how easy DJI makes it to feel, and it tracks pretty good, to be fair. So right now let me stop it here and then let me go back. So let me go to the other side now. So there are a lot to learn about it. So here, for example, for the tracking, there's also the active track. So let me see if I can make this work a bit more. Let's put the active track and hit go. I think this is the auto. Let's hit go. And let me go for a walk and see if it will actually track me. You usually have to add it in control here and turn this on. And now what you can see, you have a plus sign on me. So now it's tracking me. If you put active track and go, I think it will probably go. I'm in manual, so it's probably not tracking. Or is it? I think it is. So it's tracking me. So it makes it super easy. So now if I walk towards it, it will back off and show how it looks. And then you also have parallel, which it will go to your side. So if I start walking this direction, it will probably go to my side. So there you have it. So that's a very brief explanation on how things work in here. So let me bring it back to the floor so I show you some more stuff with a bit more ease of use. Or let me improve, since it's in the air, I'll just take some shots and then I'll bring it down. So just so you see, I'm gonna take a photo here. So I'll stop recording and I'll stop this. So you can just click here and move it to photo. And now I can snap a photo. Just as easy as that. So let me go a bit up and further on. And I'll snap another photo. And now I'm not recording a video here. I'm just recording the screen so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm not recording a video. Just so you know more or less what I'm doing. And this drone particularly only goes until 120 meters. So when it reaches the 120 meter mark, you will see that it gives you a message. Right now I'm at 105, so you can see on the bottom of the screen to the left. And there you go. It reached the maxed altitude. And then here I can also tilt it how it looks. It's on a controller here in front of the controller, so right here. And then I'll take another photo. And then for the video, you just hit here. And there's a lot of settings to play around with. You can even go here to the automatic settings, or you can go to the Pro, where you can choose basically everything. I'm shooting in 4K 50 frames per second in case I want to slow things down, but it goes up to 60 frames per second. If you're in the US, it's usually 24 and 60 frames per second that you would use. Here in Europe, it's usually 25 and 50 for a slow motion. So that's what I'm using right now. So just so you see, it's 4K 50, and I'm also shooting in D-Log, which is a more flat profile to shoot it. So let me bring the drone back, and then we continue to chat about it, because it's a bit nerve-wracking knowing that your drone is up there and I'm just talking random stuff here. So look how it's dealing with the wind. All right. So I hope it was recorded in here, but I don't think it was. But the wind was quite strong, but I got it to land it safely right here. So that's pretty cool. So stopping all the recordings. And let's continue our chat here. All right, so we talked about the license and the ease of use of this little guy here. You might have noticed also there's a sticker here on top of it, but that's because of the operator ID. Here in Sweden, you're obligated to have your operator ID on a sticker and glued to your drone, so in case something happens, they know that this drones belong to you or to your company, right? So let's move on. So I think the next point where I think this drone shines, I think you could probably saw from the B-roll we used in this video, is the quality of the image. First of all, it's impressive how much they could pack into this little guy. So less than 250 grams, and this guy records 4K crisp images with a 48 megapixel sensor, which is unbelievable. It's really good. The image it produces for such a small size, it's just crazy to me. But that being said, it's also so important that it has D-Log, which is a flatter profile that you can shoot your footage with, which usually gives you more dynamic range. So if you don't know what's dynamic range, it basically gives you the most for you in terms of the highlights you have in a video scenario you have, and the shadows. So basically you get the most out of the image, so you don't have to choose one or the other. So when you shoot in this picture profile, it makes your life easier to get the exposure correct, and also to color grade your footage after you're in the post-production phase. So this is really good. So the next point, it was more of a concern of mine, because since this is so small and lightweight, I thought it would be very hard to just take off and fly in windy situations, because I don't know if you could tell, but Sweden, if you have ever been here, at least in the south part of Sweden, we're here in Skåne right now, which I don't know if you can see from my hat, this is the map of Skåne. So it's the southern part of Sweden, and here it's super windy most of the time, as you can tell it today. I don't know if we recorded here the drone landing. I don't think it was in frame, but it was super windy, and this drone handled it quite well. You can see it just goes up and down and sideways just to try to balance the wind, but it doesn't affect the footage, which is kind of impressive. They have such a great stabilization modes on these guys that it's unbelievable. I think it's the same if you go to like action cameras from DJI or GoPro. They also have very good stabilization, and it's the same with these guys. They handle the wind pretty well, plus the footage stays stable, so that's quite impressive. I think next point goes to battery life. So these guys, they have removable batteries right here. On DJI app, it shows you that it lasts 34 minutes, and I've tested to the limit once, which I don't recommend, because it's usually nice when you reach a certain level of battery. It will tell you that you're running low on battery and ask you that you want it to come back home, because usually when you take off, it updates that point as the home point, and then when the battery is low, it brings the drone back to this place so you can safely land it. And I usually recommend you to do that. I have a story that I'll tell you a bit more about in the end of this video on how I tested it, and then we can talk more about it later on. Another thing is that when you buy the DJI Fly More combo, so you get this pack here that will help you to basically charge all the batteries at once. And I don't know if you can see here, but basically there's a button here in front, and when you press it, it lights up and show you the level of batteries you have on each battery, which is super handy for you to keep track of which one is charged and not. And when you plug it into charge, it charges first the ones that are almost close to be full, and then it moves on to the second one that is closest to be full, and then to the least one. So you can just charge the one that you need faster and remove it and use it while the other one's charge. So that's pretty handy to have in the Fly Plus combo. All right, so for this one, I will just use my notes in here because it comes to price and value for the money. I don't know, it's super windy. I hope this is doing a good job blocking the wind. So if not, I'm sorry about that. So if you go to the drone with the simple controller, which I don't recommend because you have to attach your phone to it, and it will probably kill your phone battery quite easily. So this one goes for 829 euros, so probably a little more in dollars. But it's already a great combo. But the Fly More combo goes for 1,169 euros and probably a little bit more in dollars, but it's just worth it because you get the drone, you get the combo with the batteries, because you will need more batteries. You run one in 30 minutes, and if you're on a trip and you want to do multiple locations, you probably won't have the time to stop, recharge just one battery and then go shoot again. So this comes a lot in handy because you have 3-pack batteries and you can charge them at the same time during the night, and then you're good to go to the next day for 3 shots in different locations, up to 30 minutes. I would recommend a little bit less. All right, and why did I opt for going with the Mini 4 Pro instead of a more professional drone and more expensive drone like the DJI Mavic Pro line, right? I think that goes basically because I was a beginner. I have never flown a drone before, so I wanted something that I could learn and that would not break my bank. And it's also small and lightweight, which I can pack on my camera gear, and it goes quite easily. It doesn't weigh nothing, so it's quite easy to carry around and do all of that. So we went already to Italy with it. It was super smooth to go on board and to fly in there as well. Because it's less than 250 grams, it's less bureaucracy as well, so you don't need a pilot license to do it, just the operator ID. And this operator ID, it works all around Europe, so I don't have to worry about it when I'm in another European country, which is quite cool. It would go the same for the Mavic, but then you would need the pilot license together with it. So it's a bit more hassle, but that's why it was my first drone, so I chose for this one that it's more of a budget, but it still has a lot of good quality videos and features packed in this small package right here. So that's why I went with this one. And before I purchased this one, I think I had in mind the DJI Mini 3 Pro, which was a very good drone and kept my attention for quite a while. And then I was almost close to buying one, and then they released the Mini 4 Pro. And the main reason I went for the Mini 4 Pro instead of the 3 Pro, I could pack it into 2 reasons, right? So the first one would be the tracking options. So this guy got some upgrades in terms of the tracking. I still haven't used all the tracking modes available in this one, so I still have a lot to learn from it, but apparently it has way more functionality than the previous one. But the main reason would go to the fact that this guy has sensors here in front and here on the back as well. I don't know if you can see here, but there are sensors right here. I can show you in a B-roll as well. But basically this is for obstacle avoidance. So the Mini 3 Pro would only track something that was in front of it and then would avoid a crash, but if it was flying sideways, it would crash. This one, no, it covers all 360 view, and then you're less likely to crash with it. But that being said, we go back to the point of not everything is bulletproof, and I did crash my drone once, and that was because I didn't have enough battery, and I decided not go back to the home point because I moved, but I will do that in another video, and you can check right here or right here the link to this other video for you to watch how I crashed my drone. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, but I think this drone is an excellent choice if you're starting out with drones and don't know where to begin. This will do a great job and catch very beautiful looking images for you, and it's very easy to use. I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you guys in the next video. Bye now.